with Khutso.
Remember, I always say to you, Crunchers, that whenever you send a voice note that is very powerful, that we need to have a conversation about, you might be thinking, why isn't my voice note being played? Well, hang tight, because maybe your conversation is powerful, that we need to have a conversation about it. Now, despite the advanced world we live in now, right, many of us commuters and maybe just a community as well are still living backwards and are not accommodative and accommodating of those who are disabled. Now, this morning, I want to ask you, Crunchers, how do you think we can help and accommodate to assist? Look, there is an ability in every disability, and that's what I want to talk about today. We received a voice note earlier this week from Katlego, who is partially disabled, and this is what she had to say. And I want you to listen very carefully, because this is supposed to mean something not only for her, but she's speaking for someone who isn't in that position to speak up. So Katlego, talk to us.
Good morning, Khutso. I was crunching my mind this morning. I'd just like to speak to the Ys and YFM listeners, and for them to speak to other people, to please be considerate about people with disabilities, I'm partially disabled, and it's not easy for me to commute on a day-to-day basis, and I have to consider certain things that other people, normal people, don't have to consider. So this morning I was basically called lazy, by a bus driver, because he told me that, because I stopped him before the actual bus stop, because I walk really slowly from my house to the bus stop, and it takes me about 25 minutes to walk to the bus stop, which for a normal person takes about 7 minutes, you know what I'm saying? And I couldn't reach him on time. And he said to me, and stuff, you know what I'm saying? As if I did this on purpose. I actually wake up at 4:30 every morning. I get home at 7 every day because of using the buses and stuff. And I leave the house at 10 to 6. His bus comes at 6:15. Today it was a bit early, but he was like, I must wake up early. Sorry for the long voice note, but you know what I'm saying? Like, he made me feel like how I wake up so early because I do things slowly, and I'm partially disabled. I really can't do things fast. I have to do everything slowly. And it's really painful to actually, I didn't do this to myself, but for people to actually think that I'm doing this on purpose, I walk slowly on purpose, or I'm lazy or whatever. What does that mean, guys? So that really hurt my feelings, and there's a whole lot of other things. I think this whole thing just needs a whole new show.
Absolutely.
So that we can actually talk about certain things that disabled people have to deal with on a day-to-day basis, especially us that are partially disabled, and we're told that we can't get disability grant because we're still able to work. So how am I supposed to work on that? You know what I mean?
Katlego, I just want to say right now, thank you very much for sending through your voice note. I could even hear in the voice you're trying to express a certain feeling, emotion, the way that life is for you as an individual, and trying to make us understand exactly where you're coming from. And trust me, we do. And with that being said, many communities, right, are inconsiderate of those with disabilities, partially disabled, failing to help when need be, or understand at least. For even someone, let's say the bus driver, for example, for Katlego, wouldn't have stopped for a minute to even ask, can I help you? But rather, wake up earlier. Be here on time. No, man. Now, I know that various organizations have played roles in being empowering and creating, funding for those living with disabilities. But what we'll do up next is we'll speak to someone from a women's disability organization to break this conversation down. And like you're saying, Katlego, this needs an entire show. Indeed, you're right. So with that being said, Crunchers, I'll ask you again, how do you think we can be held accountable to assist those who are disabled, partially disabled. Maybe you're going through something very similar to Katlego, where you just need a voice to speak up for each and every single person to understand. Different, not less. Simply different, but definitely not less. Not all people of disability come from, communities who are not accommodative, and that's a problem. Now, we've got many voice notes, one coming through from Megan, one from Domi, as well as Philemon. Will play your voice notes right now. But disabled or abled bodies, we all have the power and responsibility to make society more inclusive for every single person. From lived experiences to listening to the disability community and so much more. Talking about view the disability community as a valuable consumer. Employ people with disabilities. They are ambitious and want to work, right? Increase disability representation in political settings. Interrogate disability history in school curriculums. Promote social inclusion in schools. Also, one thing, 1 in 20 children have disability, right? That gives 19 kids a daily opportunity to learn about diversity, collaboration, inclusion, friendship. Let me play this voice note coming through here from Megan. Good morning, beautiful.
Good morning, Khutso and all the YFM crunchers. Hope everyone is doing well. It's a Megan Chowker Adonis. So once again, just to let you guys know, so my disability is that I am blind, and a lot of the time the responses I get is, how are you blind but yet so beautiful? That does not make sense. And I'm always like, okay, guys, let's have a very serious and fluid conversation around this. What are blind people or persons with disabilities, their appearance? What is it supposed to be? Because now there's a negative and stereotype that has been put when it comes to disability, and there's a certain expectation that someone who is blind is going to be untidy, is not going to be well articulated, is going to be, very messy and all over the place. And once you get someone who's well put together, well articulated, and also in terms of appearance, they take care of their appearance, which is very important for me. Self-presentation is very important. People get shocked, and those are some of the things that come with my disability as well. And also people not understanding in terms of the passion and drive that I have as well, and how I'm always excited and enthusiastic about life. People are always like, okay, but you've got a disability. How do you wake up every day and just always have this energy? And I'm just like, you know what? It's all about finding the positive in every minute of the life that you have been blessed with.
Yes, Megan, I love you. Now, this is what I mean by speaking up. Speaking up about the environment that you live in. Speak up about the different situations and scenarios that you always face with on a daily basis. My gosh, when you said, how can a beautiful person be blind? How is one person supposed to look like? How? Megan, thank you very much for your powerful voice note. Another one coming through here from Philemon. Good morning, sir.
Morning, Khutso.
Morning.
Yeah, actually, it's a touching story. It's really sad, the story of Katlego. But I don't see any need for us to mistreat or behave otherwise towards those disabled people. It's really long. We must accept and love them the way they are, because I don't think there's someone who can wake up and choose to be disabled. So, yeah, it's a really touching story for me. We need to accept and just comfort them the way they are. They never choose to be disabled. I have one of my friends, he's disabled, but I accommodate the guy. We are well. I love the guy the way he is, because we met before he was disabled and then now he's disabled, but I can't change or mistreat him because of the way he is. But it's really sad or bad.
Tweet coming through here from Ompile Fix saying Krunch with Khutso Never refer to people without disabilities as normal. We are all normal, my sister, disability or not. I'm really sorry for what you have gone through. This is Tukakeho. Another tweet here from Loazi saying, firstly, we can start by respecting them, by treating them and talking to them like normal people and avoiding treating them like disabled people. You're not making them feel any better about their condition by patronizing them. They are normal. We'll read some more of your tweets coming through at YFM, at Khutso Tsanedi, hashtag Krunch with Khutso. Your voice notes coming through via the YFM app. Look, in many instances, right, communities have one of the following. So I'll go through it, right? Maybe a partner who fails to be understanding of one's disability. A community that fails to understand those who are living with disabilities. A situation where a mother cannot afford to raise a child with disabilities and has, family or maybe their partner failing to be supportive. And we have those living with various people of disability who don't have the knowledge of where to get help. I'll see what it goes slow. Received your voice note, powerful one. But before that, let me take a call coming through here from Lerato. Good morning, Lerato.
Hi, Khutso. Morning. How are you?
Fantastic. Lerato, talk to me.
So, Khutso, just quickly, a background of my child being one in the how many numbers that you said, child that are disabled. I went through a normal pregnancy, right? And then he got diagnosed with cerebral palsy, which means that he lost oxygen to the brain that actually sends message to the movements of the body. And that's only because the doctors were so stubborn to do an operation immediately. They tried to make me push. And yeah, he is partially disabled. You won't tell until I tell you. You won't see it until I say, my child is cerebral palsy. And he is struggling with his fine motor skills at school. So yeah, that is what I've been facing for the past 9 years of my life.
Lerato, thank you very much for giving us a call this morning. You just gave me goosebumps listening to what you're saying. And that's exactly that conversation. Teaching children today's ability, etiquette, right? And etiquette. And with that being said, when you mentioned that in school, it's a tough journey for him. Is there a sense of an education to the kids in teaching them, this disability etiquette in school?
Yes, and I just wanted to also mention, Khutso, that I had to have a conversation with all of my friends that have kids the same age to say this is what happened. And sometimes you'll meet someone new and then it's like almost like there's an elephant in the room where they're scared to ask, but he is so welcoming of any questions. He answers it so beautifully. I thank God for his strength, actually.
Amen. And I thank God for your strength. I really do. Lerato, thank you very much for the call. And I love the fact that you also called us in to raise this point because we've got somebody on the line who's joining us right now. Mylert, good morning.
Good morning. How are you doing?
Fantastic. Thank you so much for joining us on the show this morning. I really want to jump into this conversation. I know that we're running out of time, but we just received a call coming through from Lerato. I hope that you also got to hear the voice notes, many voice notes coming through. But what's your take on how South African, the responsibilities communities have played, especially in South Africa?
I think South Africa still needs a lot of tutoring, if I may put it like that.
Sure.
Because being a person living with disability as well, the treatment is either people pity you or they think you are incapacitated and all these other things. It's quite rare that you find people who think you are on the same level with them, regardless of what you have, whether it could be education and all of those things. So we still have a long, long way to go.
With that being said, how can someone or a community be more accountable with regards to exactly what you're saying, that we are unaware? Maybe it's an arrogance that many have, but how can we hold communities accountable?
I think it must start with within the households, because we find instances where the parents or the families of people with disabilities or disabled people, we lock them in, we don't expose them to the society. So when you find those who actually do go out there and claim their independence and all of that, then you find the society or the community being surprised as to, but you're not supposed to be here, you're supposed to be locked up, you're supposed to be there. So the family system has to expose the disabled family members firstly, and then the community be educated that this is one of us. It's just that they are differently abled. By so doing, we should be able to cohabit, if I may put it like that.
Absolutely. Now, Mylert, final question on my side. Where can family of a disabled or the disabled people themselves get assistance? I know that, you are part of this amazing organization. Please, can you let us know where we can get assistance for themselves and for others?
Okay, yeah. So, like our organization and other ones like your DPSA, Blindness A, that's where you can reach out to get assistance. With ours, we should be able to help you, connect you as to how to go about, whether it's finding placement for your child and all these kind of things. And they can get a hold of us on our social media platforms. Twitter, it's DW Dignity, Facebook, Instagram, and then our website, www.dwld.org.
Do you mind repeating that website again for me, Mylert, please?
Okay, it's www.dwld.org. Or they can just call 0817655390. That's our executive director's number, Megan.
100%. Mylert, final question from my side, just a quick one. Going back to schools, teaching children today's disability etiquette. Is this something that you feel and see happening in schools?
It should happen. I am hoping that we will once get to a point where your disabled kids can actually go to your mainstream schools. Because this thing of segregating them, that's another issue. They are there, the other ones are there, so it becomes a bit difficult. So I'm hoping and praying that one day we'll have a society like that one.
Absolutely. I thank you very much, Mylert Lubisi, Project Director at Disabled Women Living with Dignity Organization. And of course, coming all the way from Bushbuckridge, Galebo Mama, Linna Bushi.
Mendo my boys.
Oh,
All right, then. Thank you so much for having me. Have a good day.
Thank you so much, and to you too. With that being said, thank you very much to each and every single one of you sending through your voice notes. Gee whiz, I really want to play this voice note coming through here from the one and only Ausiwari Goslow, raising a point with regards to how we can take accountability. Let me get this voice note. Ausiwari Goslow, talk to us.
Hi, Money. Hi, Crunchers. This topic is a bit sensitive, and I looked at it from both sides. And listening to the first VN that made the topic what it is today is that we have to look into consideration. We're trying to help, not that we don't want to help. We're trying to help, but we don't want to come across as offensive. Typical example, taxi, you have one hand, then you give me this attitude of, and I was just trying to help so that we can get into the taxi a little bit faster, so that it's very hard for us to assist and not come across as offensive. Sure. It will be back. When we try to make areas like in the working environment, we always try to have stairs and a ramp.
Got cut off there again, but Khotlelelo, thank you very much for your voice note coming through, raising points there that is up for discussion, in all honesty. Katlego, I thank you as well, most importantly, for sending through your voice note and for speaking up. With that being said and done, Tamba Baloyi up next with your news.
859 on your DSTV bouquet. Why?